Today's show brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. And, of course, Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Got a lot to talk about today, Kristen.
There's so much on the plate.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
I thought that would be the case.
Yep. A lot of good things.
Well, none of it's a good thing. It's not a good thing?
Oh, no, a lot of good things.
Oh, a lot. I thought you said not a good
of-
thing. I'm like, well.
Not a
okay.
good thing. A lot of good things.
Good.
Just one quick mention, and this might be part of your report. Anyway, what's the name of that show we watched last night?
I knew you were going to ask me. It was a new comedy. It was number one in Netflix.
Running
number
Point.
2.
What is it?
What is it about? Tell
Running
us what
Point
it's
is
about.
number one on Netflix right now.
What's it about? What did
It's a comedy.
A woman that takes over.
guys.
It takes over the LA
Waves?
Waves.
Yeah, Running Point. That was my number
Running
one thing to
Point.
talk about.
Okay, good.
Good.
So you're going to talk about it anyway.
I
Yes.
watched it.
Yes,
did you?
and I knew
Fantastic.
Alex had watched it because she and I had communicated on Instagram over it. So,
Catherine and I watched it last night. It was terrific.
Yeah.
The first episode was
It was really
great.
good.
okay, are you only one episode in? I don't want to
Yep.
spoil.
One episode. That's it.
Yep.
Okay,
I finished it.
I finished
Oh.
it too. So
You
that's why I
finished it
wanted-
already?
It's been out for a bit.
Has it?
It's been out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 whole weeks.
wow.
How many episodes are there?
There are 10 episodes. I binged them all.
And so did Alex?
It was
Yeah.
my folding laundry
Yeah.
show. Or
Oh, you watch it, Andy?
No. Actually,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
okay.
this is the largest chronological disconnect between things you guys are watching and what I watched yesterday.
Oh, you
We
watched what?
introduced Ethan to I Love Lucy.
Oh,
But
I
a
love
You
seven-
that.
never go wrong with I Love Lucy, though.
No.
Oh, I used to
Absolutely.
watch that with the kids when they were little, and they would just laugh and laugh. They loved
So
it.
what happened is he found our DVD box set. We have all the entire thing.
Yeah, I gave it to you
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
your birthday one year.
Yep, he found it. And he also found our DVD player. So I go downstairs and he's putting the DVDs in the DVD player that's not hooked up to anything, but he did go plug it in. So he's like putting the DVD in. He's like, this one doesn't work. And then he puts the next one in, and this one doesn't work. And eventually that turns into, okay, do you want to see what's on these? Because it's black and white, it's live action. You're not
Like
going to
he's-
like it at all.
Like he's going to
So-
understand all that.
We put it
Loves
on, and we watched the Lost Pilot episode, which is it's about her sneaking into his show.
Oh,
So,
right.
Like there's an episode that they basically remade the pilot as a real episode later, but it's about that. And after it ends, he turns to me and says, "That was fun."
A good taste.
So
Yes,
then
it
of
is.
course, we watched the Chocolate Factory episode.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Never
classic.
go wrong.
And
No.
so,
Well, if
yeah,
you
of
ever
course.
need, Desi Arnaz, we've got one in the house here. So
There you got
my
Desi.
he
Does he?
does.
He
Yeah.
plays Desi, doesn't
Yeah, it does.
He does. Yeah,
I
he
thought
does
so.
Lucille Ball Comedy Festival, and he does a show, and he's
Okay,
done
question-
multiple shows. He's like
he?
the
Question
guy.
I have for you. What year did that show debut?
Oh, God.
51 or
55, I think.
something?
I think it's early, like 51,
Early-
52.
51,
51,
52.
yep.
So it debuted the year I was born. I began watching it in 1955. So,
You're 4, yeah.
yeah, I was 4 years old. So basically, Grandpa and, Bop Bop, excuse me.
Pop up and Ethan.
Bop Bop and Ethan started watching Lucy at the same age, at three and a
so
half, 4
cute.
years
Yeah,
old.
it debuted 3 weeks before you were born.
There you go.
And to think about it, the technology and the
Yeah.
devices that Desi and Lucille created are still used in Hollywood today, which is
Really?
amazing. Multi-camera sitcom, yep. And reruns. Reruns did not exist
No, they
until
did
then.
not.
Oh,
They didn't
They
used to
did it be-
record them.
And that was because the big deal was that she was pregnant, and they were like, "How do we do her maternity leave?"
Right.
Because she did need several weeks off because they were in the middle of their filming season. Unbelievable that
Yeah.
when you think about it. And most of the sitcoms were filmed in New York, and they were like, "We're not moving to New York. We're going to do this in Los Angeles." So that was another big deal.
Oh, my
what
God.
was the other one? Vita Vegemin.
Vitamita
Vitamin.
Vegemin.
Oh my
Vitamin
God, that
Vegemin,
was
yep.
hilarious too.
And I want to deliver my...
Parties.
I want to deliver my favorite line from that show, and I'm looking all the way back. It had to be 55, 56, maybe a little later than that. But we're talking 70 years ago, probably. I will never forget how hard I laughed as like a little boy. And I don't know what year it came out. I was somewhere between 3 and 7 years old. I laugh to this day when Fred and Ethel come in, and Ethel starts talking about all of her boyfriends she had before Fred. And she said, let's be honest, they were buzzing around me like bees. And Fred said, well, then how come I'm the one that got stung? One of the greatest lines. I laughed so hard as a little boy, and I do to this day. All these years later, it's still, many decades later, it's still funny.
No, the writers back in those Dick Van Dyke Show and all those, the writers
Yep.
were fantastic.
Can you
Terrific.
turn your mic
They were
down
really
a little
good.
bit, Mom?
Oh yeah, it's,
Oh, Mom's got a mic.
it's pumped
Well, if you're
up,
looking for
so-
a new sitcom, we do have Running Point. So you guys watched one episode.
Yep.
I'm going to throw this out there. I think that this is the best work Kate Hudson's done since
Yep.
maybe How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I mean, that's how
Yep.
long I think it's been. I think she's underutilized.
and also the first episode is usually not that great as they're setting everything up forever and introducing characters and everything. This one was really great right out of the box, I thought.
You understand it right away. You understand who these characters are. You're not getting the whole backstory. I
Oh,
mean,
I
of
know.
course, they give you some backstory of like establishing who the characters are, but right away you go, oh, okay, this brother's
Yeah.
like the drug addict. This one,
Right.
yeah, you understand it completely.
Yeah.
It dives right into the story and it takes off from there. And I'll tell you, all 10 episodes are outstanding.
They're all
that
great.
when you get to the last one, and I'm not going to give you any spoilers. Don't
Alan.
worry.
So I didn't realize it was the last one, and it ended, and I was like,
What?
like
But
what?
they get a season 2 already, so they are off and running with season
that's
2,
great.
which is great.
The big
That's
cliffhanger
good.
situation.
You with a big cliffhanger that if they didn't give you a season 2, you would be mad.
Big
Oh,
man.
I agree. Andy, you should start watching it, and I will say this.
I don't
that
know
the-
that you would like it.
Sports comedy? I don't know.
It's not really. You don't
not
have to be
sports
a
comedy.
sports
I know, but I mean,
fan at all. I
Well,
don't think.
let me say this. Dad's in bed in the hospital because he got in a car accident. And the first thing that I remember Dad saying in the hospital is how much he loves crack
Yeah,
cocaine.
I wouldn't watch it around
That's
the
the
kids.
eldest brother.
That was
the
the
dad.
eldest
Oh, it's the eldest brother, but that's her
dad
dad,
is
I
dead.
thought.
No, the dad is dead.
Oh, Dad's
No, the
dead
dad's
already.
dead,
Okay.
Yeah, that's
That's
her older
already.
brother.
The oldest brother. Okay. Okay.
Mom is alive, but you never see her.
Oh,
She's
okay.
on.
Which leaves, I feel like,
Mention
leaves the
only.
door open.
It
Yeah.
does.
This series was created by Mindy Kaling, so if you enjoy Mindy Kaling shows,
Phenomenal.
her work is outstanding, and there's a lot of very funny like little one-liners that you need to catch. So you go, oh, very of the moment pop culture that if you're
Yes.
paying attention, you'll see.
It's really good.
And I love that they make fun of like the LA life. Like, they poke fun at that a lot. It's
Well, maybe once we get done with Scrubs, which we have been working on for I think 9 months,
great.
From the 90s, yes.
we'll go on to Running Point.
Isn't it wonderful that television does this now, that you can go back 7 decades and watch wonderful things?
Yeah,
It's
it is
true.
nice.
It's all there.
I mean, I've watched Gilmore Girls 18,000 times just for comfort, or The Office for comfort. There's
The
shows you
Office.
just go back to over and over again.
Yeah,
Melissa
that's
tried
our.
to get me into Gilmore Girls, and I was just like, I
No,
don't
that is
know.
definitely not a show for you.
No.
That's the one with the teenage pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
mom and the daughter.
Yeah, and the first
and-
episode was like, "Oh, my dad's having an affair or whatever the hell it is."
Well,
I'm
and
just
it's like,
I don't know.
as you watch it, listen, I've watched Gilmore Girls twice all the way through, but like as you're an adult, you watch it and you're just like, Rory is insufferable. Like I remember Dan the other day. I was like stressed out about something, and he's never seen an episode of Gilmore Girls, but he looked at me and he was like, "What would Rory do, Alex?" And I was like, make a big mess for myself
What
and then
would
complain
Rory
about
do?
it? I don't know.
I
that
think
was kind of like the
Eric
thing.
Bradshaw on Sex in the City. She's also
Yes.
very insufferable when you go
Very
back and watch.
insufferable.
I would, if I had a friend like that, I would cut her out and be like, I am done with you and I am
Yes.
moving on.
Yes, absolutely shut up. I don't know.
Nah.
No.
Well, I
It's
mean,
wonderful.
you kind of have to take the lack of realism when it comes to TV It's a suspension of disbelief thing. Because, like we mentioned, The Office. If you worked in The Office, you'd be filing lawsuits every half an hour.
I feel like the thing about The Office is like it's so outside of the realm of like normal people, and it's like almost slapstick. So it's funny in a way of it's not like this isn't realistic, but like Gilmore Girls, it deals
supposed to be real,
all sorts of like real life things and blah blah blah, and you're just like, shut up, Rory.
I remember Carrie Bradshaw was like the center of pop culture in the late 90s, early 2000s. Women wanted to be Carrie Bradshaw. Now I'd be like, that is the last person I want to be like.
That's nice.
Well, that's oh, sorry, Mom.
We watch the Office extended version, and some of those episodes were so good. I mean, sometimes just even the acting. When Jan and Michael are having a dinner party at the townhouse or the condo or whatever.
More drinks, babe? Sure, babe.
It was
dinner's almost ready, babe.
It was such a great episode of a couple that's obviously imploding, and they were really good.
Yep.
If you've ever seen the bloopers from that episode, it is hilarious.
Which one?
Like
The vasectomy?
and the little TV.
Oh yeah, he broke it.
Like, didn't that win an Emmy? That
episode? For writing, I know for sure. And in fact, if you go and listen to Jenna Fisher and Jenna Fisher's podcast of The Office Ladies, she does it with Angela Kinsey. When they go back and talk about this particular episode, because obviously Jenna Fisher was in it, in that that dinner party scene, them breaking it down and kind of like what happened and like how they were trying to keep straight faces. It's really interesting to hear the behind the scenes of how that played out.
I know, it was one of those where you're just watching a train wreck, but it was funny at the same time. You're like, I shouldn't be laughing at this.
Because we've all been there though. And maybe not at that like extreme, but we've all been at that dinner party where the couple is fighting and it's so awkward and you're all just, oh my gosh.
Angela and Kevin are the two characters where if you see them talk in real life, it's like causes a crisis of faith almost. You're like, because like Angela in the show is like, uptight Christian lady who never laughs or smiles.
Right.
But then she's like, fun mom in real life.
Oh.
And then Kevin is like, I don't know if he's supposed to be brain damaged or what.
I
but
know.
He just talks like this all the time.
Yeah, like if you see him in anything else, you're like.
But then, he's like super eloquent in real life. And it's like, I did not expect that coming from the Office moron.
No.
During the pandemic, he was like the #1 person on Cameo. He was making like $2 million a year doing his Kevin The Office. Yeah, which was amazing. I used to be in a social circle with Angela Kinsey and Jenna Fisher. My ex-boyfriend was friends with that group. They all used to work at 1-800-DENTIST together. Doing customer service before they all had kind of like made it in the industry.
Oh, wow.
And so oftentimes I'd be at the same parties and stuff as Angela and Jenna, who are best friends in real life, by the way, which is amazing. But they are both absolute delights and so kind and nothing like their characters.
It really was a great show. I don't know if you could redo it.
Oh, they're redoing it though. They're doing the Office universe. They're doing, I think it's called The Paper or something similar to that. I think that's the working title, where it is within the Office universe, which means potentially characters will cross over into this new, it's about a newspaper that is obviously struggling. It's a local newspaper. There is one character that is definitely going to that show, and that is Oscar. Oscar Nunez is going to head on over.
Oh, yeah.
Oscar was great too.
Oh yeah,
so we'll see what happens.
The Paper. They don't have any. I don't think they have any information about it yet, though.
It's expected to arrive, I believe, in late 2025. So I'm going to assume that's going to be a fall TV series. But they did just announce Oscar, I think, like a week or two ago, that he is going to be a part of the series. So that means they're filming the pilot.
In February, they announced it. So.
And then we watched a movie.
Woo! What'd you watch?
A Complete Unknown.
Oh, it's good, isn't it?
Phenomenal.
That was probably one of the best movies I've seen in, I don't even know, years.
Chalamet he's the Leonardo DiCaprio of his generation. Like, he is the future of film.
God, he was so good.
So, this is a good time for me to bring this up as kind of a crossover, because I don't remember how many years ago it was, but just to go back just a couple of seconds, I actually got to interview Lucille Ball Like how? So that would have had to been what, Kristen? 35 years ago.
I mean,
She died
quite
in
some time.
89, I want to say.
Yep,
So it
89.
was 40 years ago.
Probably, yeah.
So it was right at the beginning of the KQ morning show in 1986 or 87, 88.
Yeah. Because she did the 89 Oscars, got a Lifetime Achievement Award, and died just a couple weeks later. So,
Oh,
How
at
lucky
least she
am
made
I?
it to that.
yeah.
So that's one thing. I did get to interview Lucille Ball, which I will never forget, but that was 40 some years ago.
40 plus, yeah.
Yeah, 40 plus. And then the other thing is, I've told you before, didn't talk to him, but I looked at him and he looked at me. I walked right past Bob Dylan at Lake Calhoun. He was sitting on a bench.
Oh, yeah.
And just to be around two people like Lucille Ball and Bob Dylan, I'm one of the luckiest human beings on earth.
I wonder if you inspired a song. He only had 55 albums.
Yeah, for real.
That's right. Maybe I did.
There was a man walked past me as I was sitting on a bench.
That Pain in the Ass on Lake Calhoun is the name of the song.
I didn't realize he had 5 kids and one's a director, right? Like a big.
Jesse and Jacob are apparently the big ones.
Yeah, one's a
Jesse is a
musician.
director and production executive, and Jacob is a singer-songwriter.
Yeah,
Magnificent.
Wallflowers, right?
Wallflowers, yeah. And he had a really big moment. Now it's going back 20 years, I want to say, but Jacob was huge for a while.
We got to take a break. I got to jump in there. We'll take a very, very quick break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. I love this conversation. There's nothing better than talking about entertainment and yet not one person going, "Oh, I hated that." It's good stuff.
Well, I'm not a
there's-
huge fan of Bob Dylan, but
The movie,
well,
though.
I'm not
This
saying
I'm not
You
a Bob
don't have-
Dylan fan. The movie is terrific.
I'm both.
Yeah, and I
actually.
think the guy that did the singing, the lead character, was a better singer than Bob Dylan.
it's not difficult to be a better
Timmy
singer.
trained for 7 years to get this character down. Yes.
Wow. It
It
shows. It worked.
It
Yeah,
worked.
it
There's
really
no
did.
question. We'll take a very quick break, come back, and we'll talk all about more great stuff coming out of Kristen Burt's home place, Hollywood, Florida. Big shot.
Florida.
Florida.
Hollywood, Florida. Jeez,
How
that's
old
not
are
that
you?
far from here. Hollywood, California. Well, there is a Hollywood, Florida. That's
I
for
know,
sure.
That's where
there
it all
is. I'm like-
started.
I feel like am I in a retirement home in Hollywood, Florida?
You know what happened? No, it's Hollywood, California.
There
We'll
we
be
go.
right back. From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's
And
up?
what's the name of the other
Not
show?
much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands free, but you can't have your phone in your hand for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Let's take a second to talk about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company. Look, there's no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. If you're tired of being just a number to your big national bank, be sure to talk to my friends. And again, I don't call people my friends if they're not my friends. At North American Banking Company, they offer the same online and mobile banking options as other banks, but with the unparalleled service of a community bank. I also like being able to go to any of their 6 Twin Cities locations: Roseville, 50th and France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So we're back
We're back.
in Hollywood, California, not Florida.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too hot there. Too hot and humid. That's why they didn't.
Well, wasn't Hollywood going to be in Florida, like the
It
real
was.
Hollywood?
And the weather is what changed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't doubt it. Something
Yes.
about 100,000% humidity is probably just bad for film.
I mean, the amount of like hair dryers you would have to use because people would be
Yeah.
sweating and the
Yeah.
pit stains you would have.
Only 5 months a year, no big deal.
They
No
do have air
problem.
conditioning.
It always reminds me of.
But you can't run air conditioning when you're filming. So when you film, they turn
Yeah,
off the air
too
conditioning.
loud. Yep.
It's too loud.
Yep.
Yeah, it's brutal when you're filming in a place that has, it's hot in the middle of the summer, and then they're like, okay, cut the AC. You're like, oh God.
That's why I'm surprised Georgia became such a big thing for filming for so long.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it
that's
still
true.
is Georgia still like huge for filming?
It is, but it is losing ground to the UK. UK is now the big leader
Oh.
because they have unprecedented tax incentives that
Yep.
include above the line talent, meaning if you hire George Clooney, let's just say for $15 million, you can get tax incentives back on his salary, which you
Wow.
cannot. It is so good that it's one of those things. It's unprecedented. A majority of the game shows are now filmed in Ireland because Ireland is now the hub. So it is cheaper to fly your American contestants to Ireland to film. So if you're watching like Rob Blows the Floor on Fox, all of that is Ireland. You
That is
spend a week
amazing.
in Ireland.
It's
Cheaper.
unbelievable.
That's very weird.
Filming down the street in Los Angeles.
Okay, quick tax reference, very, very quick. Catherine and I went to dinner last night at a place called Lenora. It's phenomenal Italian food. Ran into some people we had known from, here, this area. And I was talking to one of the men, and he's from Delaware. And he said, oh, it's one thing about going back to Delaware because there's no state tax in Florida. And of course, you go to Delaware and our state tax there is like 4%. I said, really? Because in Minnesota, it's 9.5%. So calm down, Buster.
Like 11. I don't know what it
Oh,
is.
God, 11. Oh, geez.
It's going up. So I think it's like 10.75 or 11 now. I don't know.
Painful. Painful.
I don't
Anyway.
even notice though at this point. Like that's the thing. You just get so used to it. You're like, okay.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. So what's the latest?
Oh, another show we saw.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You want to talk about that?
Well, it's called Adolescence.
Yeah, I did. That was on my list today too. Adolescence. Yeah.
We're staying right shoulder to shoulder.
Now, how many episodes are you into in Adolescence?
Just one.
Okay.
It was a little slow because it's like real time about the kid being arrested and everything. I hope it kind of speeds up a little bit.
So for people who don't know, this is on Netflix. It's 4 episodes in total. They're about an hour, and it's about a 13-year-old who's accused of murdering his classmate. It's a British drama. It's filmed in real time, but it's also done in one shot. So it is just one long shot each episode, which is a technical. It's really a hard technical feat. So
Oh wait, is it one shot or is it that like fake one shot thing where they'll go behind a wall and that's where you do the cut?
there's no cutaways or anything else like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, each episode is shot in one take. That has got to be brutal.
It's unbelievable and it's intense. It's not, if you're watching Running Point, it's the opposite of Running Point. So
Well, is it supposed to be like super tight or is it more like ad lib kind of thing? Because I can't imagine doing a 60-minute one take episode.
it's just
multiple-
one long shot.
Well, I'm
so-
sure they edit. They have to edit. I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
someone's
I mean,
going to
I
screw up their
suppose- I
lines.
suppose technically, as long as you just keep the take going for 5 hours and then edit it down, that's qualifies as shot in one take, right? So
I would think so.
yeah,
But
so-
it is scripted. It is considered a scripted genre.
right.
It's not.
But
yeah.
I mean, it's like something like I don't know whose line is it anyway. That'd be very easy to do in one take because no one's really expecting a whole lot when it comes to like tight
Well-
acting and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that show was live to tape anyway. So
Right.
however it came out is how it came out.
Yep, there is.
Well, the
So are
question
Go
I
ahead.
have, we did watch that first episode, and this little boy is killing it. He is good in
He
that
is
show.
really good.
Literally.
Well, literally.
Literally killing it.
Literally killing it.
But they are calling it like probably the best drama we've seen in the 24, 25 television season. So
Yep. It's
this is
really
another
good.
really good one. And then there's one other show that's on Peacock that I think a lot of people are watching and talking about. I haven't watched it yet. It is on my list, so I'm going to start this week. And it's what is it called? Long Bright River. Now this is based on the book. It stars Amanda Seyfried. She plays a cop in Philadelphia, and she is looking for her sister. So it's 2 sisters who live in the city of Philly. One's a cop, one is an addict, and her sister goes missing. So her sister becomes a part
Yeah,
of.
I think we watched a trailer for that, and it looked like
Yeah.
something we might like.
It's supposed to be excellent. So, and that one is 8 episodes altogether, and it's on Peacock.
I'm telling you, Catherine was talking about this last night, and I want to ask, Andy, Alex, and Kristen all this. Television, I know I say this every year, but it seems like it's getting better and better and better.
I
Finally.
wouldn't know.
You don't watch a lot of television?
He's watching Scrubs.
Like I
He's watching
said,
Scrubs, that's
watched
right.
Scrubs
I love
since
Lucy and
shortly after we got home from Florida, the
Yeah,
first from
Grey's
last year.
Anatomy. I've heard you talk about.
That was like
Grey's is still on the air, at least.
it is. No,
It
way.
is. Yes, it is.
and
Jeez.
awful. I hate that so much.
I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would, but it's not my
I
thing.
tried. Natalie, when she lived with us, was really into Grey's Anatomy.
That
and she
I
would
don't
try
doubt.
to make she tried to make me watch a few times, and I was like, I hate this show. No, thank you.
She Gray, what's her name? Something Gray?
Meredith Grey.
Meredith is just so whiny.
Yeah, I
The-
didn't like any of them.
I don't know.
was-
The
She's
rest of
another
the
sort of Carrie Bradshaw.
yes.
Yeah, kind of. That was like a thing back then. Is like just like
Yeah.
I don't know,
Whiny.
being
women.
whiny. That was like a thing.
Yes.
Why?
I think the
Music.
first 6
Women.
seasons of that were really good, though, honestly. And then it kind of fell off, and I haven't caught up since.
The last thing I remember happening was he made like a floor plan of a house out of candles or something.
Sure. That's one.
What?
I
That
don't
sounds amazing. Was it?
It must have been
McDreamy?
season 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
I mean,
Oh.
if
The
there's
Doctor.
a show called
I know
where people say
McDreamy and
McDreamy,
McSteamy.
Patrick.
I'm like,
Come on.
Patrick Dempsey, yes.
Yes.
Who got fired from the show for having an
Oh.
affair with the production assistant.
Oh.
Maybe you shouldn't have done
Allegedly.
So I just started watching the most recent season of The Morning Show.
Oh, I love the morning
Mhm.
show.
But this is horrible because it's just reliving 2020 pandemic
that. Oh
and
God, I know it's
the
so
government
annoying.
and George Floyd and
Yep.
the White
But
House.
you're in season 2?
Well, there's only 3
Three.
seasons, so
It's the most recent one.
It's the most recent one.
season 3 then.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember when everything was filmed, though, because there were delays on that, and I think that's what was
Because-
written.
Yeah, because the end of season 2 is when Jennifer Aniston got COVID and they like had her on camera.
Oh,
But then
yeah.
season 3, the first couple episodes were normal at like current time, and then they have been going back now. And the last couple episodes have been in 2020, and I'm like, I don't want to do this.
No.
I'm good.
They got caught up too in the writer's strike and the actor's
Yeah.
strike. So I think everything had been written, and then stuff they couldn't finish everything,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
so and then time because we lost a solid 6 months of production in the
Yeah.
industry. So then everything felt dated.
Yeah.
By the
Yeah,
time
we,
you get to season 3.
We like The Good Doctor. Melissa likes it more than I do,
I've
but
never seen that.
I think it's fine. It's basically like Diet House. I don't know.
Oh,
It's-
okay. I loved House.
Yeah,
House
it's-
House
one of my
Light.
favorite
It's,
shows I've
it's
ever
pretty
watched.
good. It's basically like House
Okay.
if he had autism,
Oh,
more or less,
wait,
and was
maybe I
young.
have seen that.
But-
before.
The season that came out in I think 2020 it was, the first probably 6 episodes were dreadful. Some
Oh,
of the
really?
worst TV I have ever seen in my life.
Great. Mom was waving her hand.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
Mom?
watched at least. How many seasons are there on that? We
Good Doctor?
watched at least 2.
The Good Doctor
seasons.
has like many seasons.
Okay. Well, we watched until a certain
Uh,
point, and then it just got bad after that. We stopped watching it.
Yeah, was
Good
it?
Doctor.
Did you see the part where
Oh,
they were
yeah, the
going into the
kid.
COVID?
Yes.
Like everyone was dying of
No.
COVID.
No,
Wow, so you hated it before that? That's
we
interesting.
hated it before then.
Oh, I really liked the. I've seen it. I can't remember when I stopped watching it. I think maybe it was like a season was over, and then I was like, oh, and then I kind of forgot
That's
about
basically
it.
what happened to us. We were
Yeah.
like, oh, it'll come back, and then it left our memories forever.
Yeah, I don't. I remember liking it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's
It
not a
was
bad-
good for.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that one season, whatever it was,
I
think
don't
it was
remember
season
any-
4.
I was gonna say there was never any COVID, or I must have watched like the first couple seasons.
Yeah,
or
season
something.
4 is very, very bad.
Interesting.
Yeah, Hollywood learned pretty quickly that viewers, like when we were going through the pandemic, didn't want to watch things about the pandemic.
Yeah,
Like, we're
no.
living
Right.
this in real time. Let's
Yeah.
just forget about it. And at the time too, we were living it here in Hollywood. I mean, we had to be COVID tested at the Wazoo even to step on set. So oftentimes you were tested 3 times before you even stepped
I
on
know.
set. So you didn't want to live that
Yeah.
in a script.
Yuck.
Yep.
You got to tell your producer, I deserve an award because I always get you out on time.
Your producer of the appearance.
next
on the
appearance.
Hard
Of my
Podcast.
next appearance.
She goes right from this show to another one.
I don't actually. I go and have to write an article usually. So
Well, that's what
We
it is.
go
Right
get a
in.
massage.
Yes.
yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go relax.
Yes.
I gotta go down actually and get my housekeeper comes today, so I gotta go down and let her into our garage. I know.
Okay. Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC equal housing lender. We will talk to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, everyone.
Thanks very much. Take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Bob Sansevere will join us right after this.
Yep.
Let's take a second to talk about my bank, North American Banking Company. Look, there is no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. If you're tired of just being a number to your big national bank, be sure to talk to my friends at North American Banking Company. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as other banks, but with the unparalleled service of a community bank. I also like being able to go to any of their 6 Twin Cities locations: Roseville, 50th and France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser. My Pillow is excited to announce that they are extending the mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save $40 on the new spring My Pillow bed sheets, any size and any color. Get the 6-piece bath or kitchen towel sets for only $29.98. The initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And the best-selling standard My Pillow, just $14.98. To take advantage of the mega sale 2.0, go to mypillow.com, use promo code TOM, but that's not all. You'll get free shipping on orders over $75. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Sansevere and Dustin Grage. Hopefully he can hop on the show.
I don't know.
Well, he might be able to make it. I hope so.
Well, yeah.
Sponsored by Bradshaw and Bryant. Bob Sansevere Sports is brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That is minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Sandy, how are you?
I'm lovely as can be, and I think he goes by Greggy.
Who goes by Greggy?
Dustin.
He goes by
you-
Greggy?
Why
Can
didn't
you
he
tell you it's
correct us?
Grage? Because his mom, she didn't go by that name, but his mom was the Buffalo mayor for a number of
Oh.
years. Very nice.
So it's not Grage, it's Greggy?
I think he goes by Greggy.
Never
But ask him
pronounced
when you
it
get
and
him.
corrected us.
Well, we'll have to ask
Well,
him.
ask him.
He was on the show about a month ago.
Maybe
Yeah.
he changed it. The pronunciation. You know how these hip young Republicans can be.
A hip young Republican.
Yeah,
There you go.
he was going to join us today, but then he has the police at his house making more reports. For those of you that don't know what we're talking about,
So he might be able to make it the last 15, 20 minutes. That'd be good.
Dustin is a conservative voice in Minnesota, and he's been swatted. And we talked about swatting a little bit last week, and we're going to talk about it a couple of times, I think, this week. I think guns were drawn. The police were at his house. I don't know where he lives. Then he got a bunch of pizza deliveries. I mean, it's just
What's the
yeah.
pizza part? I don't, because other people have been swatted and
Yeah.
said they've had pizza sent. Did they send like bad pizza with pineapple? What
Well,
do
no,
they?
100.
I-
100
I-
pieces.
I think it's a statement. I think
No,
it's,
what they do is they're dumb and don't know how the world works. So what they do is they send you pizzas cash on
COD?
delivery. Yes.
Well,
So
you
they
just say
think
no.
that means you have to pay for it, but you
Yeah.
don't.
No.
So all
So
you're
again,
doing
order
is
fees.
screwing over the pizza place.
Yeah.
yeah.
Here's
But
what
they
I'm-
don't know
Absolutely.
that because they're morons.
Oh, there's all kinds of moronic things going
Well-
on in the world. There's been so many people that have been videoed keying and vandalizing cars, thinking that they're Teslas, and they're not even Teslas.
But they're
Well,
also
how
getting
fast-
arrested.
It's a T logo. T for Tesla. I mean, how hard is it?
Somebody was doing a Rivian. They're just seeing that's an electric car, and they're just.
Teslas are very obvious.
Yes, they
look
sure
the
are.
same. All
Well,
of them
that
look
goes to
the same.
show that these people are not really knowing what they're supposed to be mad about,
No,
or
they're
what
not.
they're just know that there's some sort of anger out there, and they want to jump on that
Yep.
bandwagon.
And how hard is it to find out who swatted you? I would think that the cops would get involved and
Right.
they go to whoever the carrier is, and you could trace to whose phone it is.
Well, they're doing that fake phone number thing, and a lot of times they're, you know how I don't know how it happens, but there's some sort of thing where if I call you, Bob, I can have it look like it's coming from Tom's number. They're having it look like it's coming from the local police number.
Well,
There's something
But there's got to be a way for them to unravel that. And once
There-
they start,
definitely is, and now that the FBI, the new FBI director, has said that it's going to be looked at as domestic terrorism.
and it should be.
It
Yep.
absolutely should be,
Absolutely
because
should.
there's already been somebody killed over this. And the other thing is, I saw Kash Patel do an interview, and he said this isn't a political issue. And I'm like, yeah, it is. I mean, it's basically
is.
political
Absolutely it is.
persecution at this point. They're going after a
Well, I-
specific person.
And the whole pizza thing, anyone orders 100, hey, yes, just I'll pay when you get there. What pizza place is going to do that?
Right.
For
right.
100
That's ridiculous.
pizzas too. It's like
According to Joe, DoorDash will let you do that. You can choose
Really?
cash on delivery.
But not for 100 pizzas.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a limit.
Well, that's
I
ridiculous.
would just, why don't these pizza places just say, no, we're taking a credit card or you don't get pizza?
Yeah, that would be the thing to do.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
DoorDash. Every time I don't know, I use DoorDash, and you always have to pay ahead of time.
well, see, I thought they were sending Canadian bacon and like the Hawaiian topping. Well, that's not pizza. Come on.
Yeah, there you go.
Tons of green peppers.
So where did this come from? Why now all of a sudden are we doing this? now?
Copycats, because this
It's
is where
not
somebody
new.
started. It's happened over time, but lately it's been a lot of Republicans are being targeted, much like people that have Teslas are being targeted. And Dustin has, he has raised his profile because he does writing for some of these right wing or
Yeah.
conservative websites. So he's heightened his profile.
So I have a question for you about this whole thing. I grew up a Democrat because my mother was an ardent Democrat, my sisters and brothers and all the rest of it. And I was, when it started to be called liberals, I thought that was great. But how can you call yourself a liberal when you harm people the way you're harming them? That's not being liberal at all.
Tom, the party that you were part of is not the party that exists today for Democrats.
certainly
It's
is
becoming
not.
far
No.
more progressive. I mean, take a look just in Vance may have been a Republican all along, but Trump, Musk, RFK Jr., obviously, Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, that's just four people who are in some sort of power. They're all were Democrats, and they all have left the party. It's not the
Yeah.
party they once knew.
I just don't understand why you want to go out of your way to harm somebody just because of their beliefs and politics.
Well, the one thing I'd be curious if you get Dustin on, ask him, because he's known in Buffalo because his mom was the mayor. I would think that they would be if he's talking to them, I doubt it's to talk him out if he did anything wrong. It's to try to get to the bottom of it, who did it.
Well, that's,
Because
yeah.
they'd have
that-
to know, they know him in town.
It does seem to be people that have a big social media presence on X. They're the ones that seem to be getting
Yeah.
it the worst. And Dustin's on there a lot.
Well, but that's how he makes his living.
Exactly.
So,
Right.
It's but I mean, I'm curious of how it, because some people, I mean, one guy I had seen on X, 5 SWAT members with AR-15s showed up at his house. Another guy came out with his gun and he didn't get shot. But
Well, that's
I hope
lucky.
the police they need to be wary of this too. They just can't go in, not guns blazing, but assuming there's something going on.
Right.
Well, that's the other problem with this is if everyone's crying wolf all the time, that there's all these, people that have killed their wives. They're actually telling the cops that they've killed people in the
Yeah.
house.
Or like they've got a bomb or something like that. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, this is like serious stuff, and it's taking away the police from doing other important work. This isn't just something that should have a slap on the hand. This should be
You
taken
should go to
very
jail.
seriously.
Absolutely.
You should go to jail
It should be considered
instantly.
attempted murder, I think.
So again,
For sure.
I got to make another point here because it just bothers me so much in my life, and I won't say who they are because it's nobody's business, but they're both public figures. Two of my best friends in the world, and I mean two of my best friends in the world, one is way far left and the other one's way far right, and I don't give a rat's ass. One's very, very liberal and the other one's very, very conservative, and they're great people. I don't agree with either one of them's policies 100%, but they're still my dear friends. How is that so difficult for people?
There are
do
many
you
people
think,
who
Mary?
can't handle it.
Hey.
Mary, how are you so liberal as the Mary Bob Sansevier?
She actually thinks I'm liberal.
Yeah.
Give you an idea.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know. I just don't understand. We didn't live the same lives. Even our children. Catherine is here. She and I did not live the same kind of life till we met, 45 years ago. Our children live different lives because they have their own households now. They have their own children. They act like everybody should live the exact same life and believe the exact same things. Well, that's never going to happen.
You know what the most frightening thing about these people who SWAT, and I think it's happened on both sides. It's not just Democrats doing Republicans. I'm sure there's instances where it was somebody conservative doing it too, although I haven't seen that, but I'm sure it's happened. They think they're intolerant. And they think that anything is justified because they are right.
Oh, God.
Yep.
That's the sickness about it.
So it's a mental illness.
Well, I mean, I think that that certainly comes into play. Imagine picking up the phone and making that call.
Yeah.
There's something mentally ill about that.
Yes.
I do things that I think are right, and then I find out from Catherine later on that I wasn't right.
You should always just check with me first.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about it.
To be safer.
But that is the part that upsets me the most about this. Have you no tolerance for anybody who's not exactly like you? That's mental illness. You have to be just like me or I hate you. What the hell is that?
You just described the progressive wing of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, unless you're exactly like I am, I don't like you.
Look what
Well, we had different lives. Calm down.
Well, and it's okay. Why don't you just hate them from afar? Why do you have to actually try to get somebody killed?
yeah.
I mean,
know.
that's the mental illness part.
in our lifetime, certainly the last few decades, who has been more heroic in the minds of Democrats than Chuck Schumer? Now they're throwing him under the bus.
Oh, are they now? Well, they should
yeah,
because he's a
well,
terrible human
Well,
being.
but it's because I think he supported not shutting down the government. And that was more, he
Right.
voted with Republicans, and you can't do that in this world.
No crossing the
nowadays.
aisle ever.
But I mean, Jesus. See, there's a guy I couldn't stand, and now I go, well, I gotta take a look at it. Now, they also have to answer the question: where did you get $80 million? Politicians don't make that much money. Where the hell did you ever get $80 million?
They went and
He's
spoke
old.
at colleges.
Oh,
He's got a few of those big 5-gallon things that you find in water bubblers, and he's been putting coins in every day. So
that's
maybe
what it is.
did
Okay. That might do it. That's absolutely true. I just, like I said, I have a friend who's very liberal and a friend who's very conservative, and I think the world of both of them. And I'm not like either one of them because I tend to be kind of centry. I'm not extreme. I've leaned left sometimes. I've leaned right sometimes. I don't get upset because they don't believe what I believe. They're my friend, for Christ's sake.
Well, my closest friend, you have dubbed Larry the Commie. So
Larry the Commie. Yep.
He's far left, but I mean, we get along, and that's the great
Great
thing.
guy.
It has not in any way impacted our friendship. We could argue we don't argue, but we just disagree, and it's fine. But some people, I really feel for the people who have shut off family and friends because they voted for Trump or didn't vote the way they thought they should, and they're now horrible people.
Well,
Those
Bob,
people, it's sad that they would do something like that.
you've been there the whole time. One of the parties, and I won't say which one, has tried to destroy my life. I mean, you've watched it happen. The things that they said that I did that I never did, things that I was supposed to be responsible for that I was not responsible for, they have literally tried to destroy my career and my life.
Well, you think the Green Party would be a lot calmer.
Yeah, you would think. Absolutely. There's no question about it. Oh, look at that. Look who I just got a message from. Donald J. Trump. I suppose he's calling to see if can I get your response for something.
Well, don't you think that COVID, I mean, a lot of people lost all contact with their families and they lost their friendship bases during COVID.
Yeah.
I think that was the start of a lot of it was
Yeah,
because, I
maybe.
mean, somehow somebody figured out a way of making sure that if you disagreed with everybody, you either were a Nazi or you had to be this compliant person. And ever since then, everything's been changed.
And I think that plays into it because you have separated people from their family and friends. So they need something. So then they'll gravitate toward the people who are now like-minded about. Look at our governor. He's parading around what he's been in Iowa, Nebraska. He's not going in front of Republicans, going in front of Democrats who are looking to hear something that makes them feel better about themselves. In the meantime, he needs the adulation because he's not going to get it here.
No.
We need to take a break. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes. Mary, it's time for you to chirp up, sister. We want your take.
Chirp up.
I
right,
sort of have a voice, not quite, but
Oh,
Well,
it's
we'll
still
come.
still
sick.
just an octave low.
Well, not a problem. You can get voiceover that way.
You
Start
can
doing
sing
voiceover.
some songs for us.
And sing
There we
songs.
go. That would
We'll be
be
right back in a
real
couple of
treat.
minutes right after this.
For Brad, John Bryant, Michael Bryant. Michael, what's up?
Dealing with another case where a person gave a statement to the adjuster because they thought the person was really friendly.
Is that a good idea?
Well, the problem is they know the law when they call you up. And while you're trying to be fair and you're trying to get help, the reality is there are questions you get asked that the way you answer them make a big difference. And people put themselves in trouble. And when they aren't in trouble, they didn't do anything wrong, but suddenly the adjuster's got a statement that can blow up their case completely.
What has caused people to be so untrustworthy, I guess is the best way I could put it? They take advantage.
Well, insurance companies have hired adjusters whose job it is to deal with unrepresented people. So they're supposed to kind of lure them in, call them every day, see how they're doing. And people are like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. Where the reality is they've kind of adjusted to their problem that they've got going on. So it's not that they're completely better, but the way they say it gets to be a problem. And that's why having somebody who can explain your rights, represent you, make sure that you understand the law before you give a statement can make a big difference in your case.
Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant.
It's time for Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity. If you care deeply about someone in your life, Wellshire is the place I highly recommend. Wellshire is a memory care focused facility that has a full nursing team always staffed within the building 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Wellshire of Medina is now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I know them personally. And they are a family-owned local company conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They are the best staffed memory care facility in the state. Wellshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week. If your loved one is in need of a memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends at Wellshire. Set up a tour or learn more at wellshiremn.com. That's WEALSHIREMN.com.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
I said, sisters, if you only knew, you would wish you were in my shoes.
Bob Sansevier Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. All right, so we're back. We've got everything all straightened away. We've decided that nobody on Earth is exactly like one other person on Earth. So why should, where are we at now? About how many billions of people are there on the planet now? I don't even know. What is the Earth's population now?
8 point something, I think.
8.5 billion?
Population. No, just 8 billion.
Just 8 billion,
Just
not
8.
8.5. Okay, 8 billion people.
Yeah, when I was
So-
born, not that long ago, it was not even 5 billion.
Yeah, there you go.
Almost doubled.
Yep.
Almost double. What are they doing? What would cause that, Mary?
Lots of
COVID.
kids.
COVID. Yes, it was COVID. That's exactly
What
right.
else is there to do?
Very, very true. The five of you, I don't think one of you, and I've known, you two of you your whole lives, and the other three of you I've known for many, many decades. I just don't. Is it necessary for you to meet someone that they think what you think, or you don't like them?
That'd be boring. If
It'd be
everyone
boring.
exactly like you.
You know, that's
Although-
that's how some people feel, but some people really like just the same group of people saying the same stuff every single
Now,
day.
I would say I would like some people this way. Some people to agree with everything I say.
What?
Oh, this
They
one
don't
too.
have-
He would like that.
Oh, no, I would not like
Oh,
that.
yes, you would.
Liar. Yeah, Bob and I both have to admit our wives are far too good for us. So, it's just how it is. Andy, you're probably in there. And Alex, it's the other side. Dan has to admit. He's got it made. Like I didn't know. Here's an example for you. I had no idea until I just looked at a message I got that the President of the United States listens to this podcast once in a while. I had no idea he did that. He never told me. I haven't seen him in 5-6 years, something like that. So it's not like we're buddies. But it's the same, he lives about, a mile and a half away from here?
Yeah, he can probably hear you.
He probably has, exactly. So, that's an honor. It's wonderful. I didn't know it was going to happen, but it's not, I'm not going to have a heart attack about it one way or the other.
Well, I would love to say hello to Mr. President and John Barron.
And
Those
John
all three
Barron.
go.
There you go. So what else is going on in the world with the Sansevieres?
Well, with us or with sports or what?
Well, anything,
What do you got?
whatever is important to you, Pally.
Well,
Twins
go ahead.
suck.
Kind of ties into the whole political climate. Shane just finished spring break, and a good friend of his from college is from Chile. And I'm always just super curious about other people's lifestyles and their countries and stuff. So I hit him with lots of questions over the last week because we, have dinner together and be doing things together. I wanted to know what they thought of our country, what they think of Trump. And it's always really interesting to get that perspective, and we always, I feel like overwhelmingly we're told that how horrible the rest of the world views us. And I didn't find that to be the case in asking Ben,
Right,
and
right.
asking like, are you just being nice? And no, they look up to America. They're very respectful of Trump, think that he's, somebody to be looked up to
Your dog
and
doesn't like him.
respected. It was interesting though, and asking him about their country and their politics and, how they feel about, things. Cause I had to pull up my map of South America and I'm like, so you guys just did a grab of the whole coastline and don't care about the rest
Yeah.
of the country because,
Smart.
Chile's just this.
Why don't you go put that dog down and come back?
Oh, that's nice. Put the dog
They hear my
down.
voice. I can't help that I'm the popular person in the household.
Well, that's true. That's exactly right. No question about it. I do you think, has it ever been that everybody's come together? No, that's not possible because, there was sexism and racism and all that stuff. I was very lucky in the fact that I grew up in a household run by women, my two sisters and my mother. So I, in my life, never experienced that men have the biggest voice in the family. That was not my childhood, right? So, other than women, I was the oldest man in the house because my brother Terry was in the Marine Corps for 6 years. So I don't have the same view of the world that some people have where dad's in charge and mom's kind of like, takes second place. It was not like that in my household. And, our kids growing up, it's the exact opposite where mom has the voice. And that's just dad has to step back and be calm.
That's how it is.
Be calm.
Well, Tom, you and I
What's that like?
we are very much like that. We're subservient. to our wives.
Subservient to our wives. That's exactly right. It's a very
Oh,
good
Bob
way
and
to
I
put it.
just butt heads.
You
I don't
do?
know what he's talking about. Subservient. What?
Now, I'm not going to argue because I am subservient.
Well, there you go. See,
And
there
she
you have it.
scares me.
All right, Bob, I suppose we should talk a little about. So, is there anything important to talk
Well,
about? The
this
Twins
whole-
are terrible.
Well, they haven't started the regular season yet, so
I know they haven't, but they're terrible in the preseason.
Well, but wait until the regular season starts, and then you can really
All
go
right.
after them.
All right.
Meantime, though, this whole thing with Aaron Rodgers, and all the reports are that it's up to the Vikings. He wants to know what the Vikings are going to do. How long does it take to make up your mind? Either you
Right.
think he can get you, if you are not absolutely convinced he can win you a Super Bowl, you don't go near him because you're
I
going to
agree.
screw up your kid, your young
Yep.
quarterback. And
Yep.
I think he's a clubhouse crusher. Or
Yep.
a locker room. He's a lunatic when he gets on a team. It has to be his way. I mean, there are still players on the Jets that he demanded they bring in, and they're stuck with. So I don't. He will cost Kwesi his job more than Kevin O'Connell because I think O'Connell has a chance, but he cost the GM and the coach in New York their jobs. That's what he's going to do. It's all about him. He will disrupt. But
Well, Catherine and I had dinner with a friend of ours. I won't say who it is, but just a couple of weeks ago, we had a dinner with a friend of ours who told us that he was a friend of Aaron Rodgers for a number of years, and all of a sudden now Aaron Rodgers just hates him for no reason. He did absolutely nothing. You remember he talked about that, Catherine?
I remember the whole story.
I mean, all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers just decided he didn't like our friend, and you know him. He's an actor and a comedian.
Yeah.
He's a very, very famous guy. But all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers decided, I don't like you. And he won't even return his phone calls anymore.
well,
For no reason.
he won't return the phone calls of anyone in his family.
Well,
He's
that's
strictly
true,
estranged from him. But I mean, you got to take a
true.
look at some of those things and vet someone that if he will turn on a good friend like that, or if he'll turn on his entire family and these, why? Because he's not getting his way. He's petulant.
Is he mentally ill, do you think, in a way?
Well,
Sure seems like it.
having met a few athletes and people.
Loaded question, Tom.
Very good
Loaded
points.
question.
Well, we all have a little bit of, mental degradation.
I suppose we do. But why do people want to be like that, to drive people away from you? I mean, Catherine will tell you, she's been with me for 45 years now, we've been together. And I embrace people on the street I've never even talked to in my life. I love doing that.
Well, not embrace,
Well,
because that would be weird.
Engage. Engage, not embrace, engage.
Stop doing that. Dad.
I engage
Please
people
stop
on the street.
hugging strangers.
And I joke around
scares
with them, and they always have a laugh. Very, very rarely does someone look at me like, what the hell's your problem?
Yeah, you sure do.
I do what?
Talk to people.
I do. I talk to everybody who comes by me.
Does he do that
Practice
too?
for the show.
It's
Gotta stay
like
in
taking
practice.
Bob places is like taking a toddler or somebody running for president. I just want to get my stuff done, and he's got to make a comment or talk to somebody or give advice to the cashier or the stock boy, or he has to tell everybody his opinion on why the noodles are on the third shelf instead of the second shelf.
That's Bob and I are very much alike then. That's true.
My God.
And you know what? Here's what's interesting. There are people watching and listening saying, my God, Bob, how have you put up with this for all these decades? You're so abused. It's an abusive deal. Listen to that.
Oh,
when
no.
do I ever knock my beautiful wife? Never. Ever.
No, Mary, that's true. He never, ever says a bad word about you. And that's 40 years I've known him.
That'll be a good time to apologize, Mary.
Well,
Well, I'm thinking through all the bad
perfect in
words
every
I hear
way.
come out of your mouth.
I suppose
Not in
it's
public,
true.
though. I never go public with it.
There we go. There it is. There it is. Sure.
I suppose that is true.
I'm just open and honest. I'm the same.
Will
no matter
human
where I
beings
am.
will human beings ever allow us to even try to come together, to try to understand you didn't grow up the way I did, you don't live the way that I do, we have a lot of differences. Doesn't mean I should hate you for it.
Well, we've come together before after wars, usually.
Yeah, that's
after
true.
9/11,
After wars,
usually. COVID, not so much.
Not so much.
Not at all. So it's happened.
I can't believe people would be mean enough, and I hope that Dustin can't come out. And how you said he calls himself what? Greggy?
I think he goes by Greggy.
Greggy.
Because I used to think it was
Dustin
Grage
Greggy.
too.
Dustin Greggy. I always thought it was
Well,
Grage.
that's his last name. I mean,
Yeah.
Grady.
Yeah.
It is Greggy, but I didn't know that. I thought it was Grage. So now we got that all straightened away. Because I would like to get him on.
I want
And
you
let's
correct.
close with this information. Why on earth would anyone go through swatting someone, put yourself in danger with the police if they find out it's you doing it? Why would you even do that?
Well, do you know who Cat Turd is?
Yeah, I
You
know
guys
Cat
are-
Turd
you,
is. Yeah.
you, Bob, you know probably, right?
I know.
He's-
I don't.
Yeah, I know of
Oh,
him.
He's on social media.
Yeah, he's got a huge following on X, and he has been swatted many times. And he said that the last 3 people that swatted him are all in jail.
Good. Glad to hear it.
See,
So-
they're in the moment and not thinking of consequences. Like the people who are. One guy was putting a swastika on a Tesla. He got arrested. Because it does take a while to make a swastika. Somebody's going to call the cops on you.
Why and why? Because it's an Elon Musk car.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly it.
we have friends that board their horses here. Both the mom and the dad are in wheelchairs. Okay, they drive a Tesla because it was the best car for them to be
Yeah.
independent, like
Yep.
customized. The doors lift up like Batman.
Yep.
It's easy for them to get in the driver's seat, throw their wheelchair in the back. That's why they have a Tesla, and they get a lot of crap
Right.
about driving a Tesla.
Really?
And that bothers me so much because and they would fall into that group of my friends that were worried about election results because they're worried about their rights and everything. So we had really super civil, good discussions. But she does in fact get criticized for driving Tesla places now, and she's freaking in a wheelchair, and it's the best. They looked at a ton of cars. It was the best option for them for their physical limitations, and
Well,
they are
and-
the most independent family I know. They just
Why-
left yesterday for 3 weeks in a motorhome to tour the country.
Why does anybody have to apologize for their choice of automobiles?
I know,
I'm
it's
just
so
so
sad.
sick. I'm fed up with all of this.
Well, Catherine can tell you this. I owned one of the first Teslas ever made. I bought one of the first ones ever sold. It was, 2004, something like that?
Yeah, maybe.
When did they come out? 2004, 2005?
Yeah, it was around then.
Around then.
Let's see. The Tesla Roadster. The first Tesla Roadster.
So that means that are you able to change your turn signal to a fart noise?
Yeah, I should.
Not back then.
Oh, now you
They hadn't
can.
invented that technology yet.
Damn it.
2008.
Can you do? Can you do
2008
the
was the
holiday
first
light
one. Okay.
show? Because that's my favorite.
Nope.
You
I
set
tell
up
you
the
what,
holiday
honest
light
God.
show, and there's lights under the car and on top of the car, and it's playing like a medley of like Christmas tunes, and
No.
the doors open and close, and the lights go on and off. No,
I bought my Tesla because I thought it was the right thing to do because it didn't poison the air. But then when I bought the Tesla, I had it a couple of years and it did a thing called, mine didn't ever brick, but the first model, the wheels could lock up while you were driving it, and that's not good on the freeway.
oh my god.
So I did get rid of it, but I thought it was the right thing to do because it was better for other people and me. I wasn't just thinking to myself, and I don't understand. Teslas, you're thinking of other people, that you're not poisoning the air with a gas vehicle. Well, apparently that doesn't matter anymore.
Well, and that car was one of the first prototypes
It was, yeah.
of
was, yeah.
that whole fleet, and it was more like a go-kart.
It was like a lot like a go-kart.
It
That
felt
is
like
true.
a very fast go-kart.
That is
I was
very
like,
true.
I was driving that thing, I was like, I would not want to be hit by a semi
It was-
in this
No, no, you
thing. Pretty
wouldn't.
sure we'd be.
It was very, very low to the ground as well.
And it
It was,
seemed
yeah.
light
You had to take
too.
an elevator up to ground level to get out of the
I guess they're. I guess they're built super solidly now.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's true.
and they
all
have
right, well,
all
that's
kinds
good.
of amazing features. Like
Yep.
I sit in her car if I'll just jump in the car and I'm like, let's have a Tesla talk, and then I play with all the controls. I know all
There
of
you
them.
go.
Tom's trying to wrap up, Mary.
Well,
Sorry, Tom.
I do. I have an appointment that I have to get to,
Okay.
and it's not that big a deal. But we will talk to you again next Monday, both of you.
Well, no.
Oh no, next Monday. Oh, Bob, can you be on next?
Well,
Can you guys be on?
maybe. I'll still have to talk to Tevin. I don't know, but I would at this moment say probably don't expect a show next Monday.
But
There's-
you could be on Tuesday if you're not on Monday, couldn't you?
It's going to be
Just let me
some
know.
scheduling changes next week, so we'll let you know.
Yeah,
what's
we'll
going
figure
on.
them out.
All right.
I'm flexible. If
Talk
want
to
me,
you
I'm
later.
there. Okay.
ya.
All right, we'll take
Have
a
a
break.
good
Be
week.
right
You
back and
too.
wrap things
Bye.
up. You too. Thank you. Does thinking about retirement make you comfortable, like uncomfortable or comfortable? No. Sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice, and I am a paid endorser.
The past several years have been the greatest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Bob Sands for Your Sports, brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. And today's show was brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-5608. All right, Andy, any closing words?
No, I don't think so.
Catherine, closing words?
I got nothing.
I like the conversation today because amongst friends. You know, the Sanseviers have been friends of ours for a long, long time, so I love shows like that. Now, tomorrow, Chris can't be on tomorrow, is that correct?
Sounds like
Yes,
it,
he
but
can't be
maybe
on tomorrow.
I'm going to try to get him on Wednesday, maybe, and then we have to find someone for tomorrow. So.
Well, if we could get Dustin to come in tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I
we
can
could,
ask him.
Yeah, go ahead and ask.
What is it again, Greggy?
Greggy, apparently.
Dustin Greggy.
Bob.
Yeah, maybe he could come in and do that half hour tomorrow since Chris can't do it.
Sure. Yeah, that'd work. And then I
Sounds
also
good.
asked Cassie. I haven't heard back from her, but if she can be on, then that would be good too.
Sounds good to me. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow, Andy.
Bye.
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 Every time I hear the same reminds me how you talking